Welcome to the Rise and Ride Show, the podcast with me, Katie Jacks from Align and Advance, equine Reiki practitioner and rider confidence coach. This is your space for honest conversations around rider confidence, mindset, horses, healing and personal growth, helping you feel calmer and more connected, more confident, both in and out of the saddle. If you enjoy this podcast, I'd be so grateful if you could subscribe and leave a review, because it genuinely helps more lovely, heart-led equestrians find our community and feel supported on their journey too. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the Rise and Ride Show. Thank you for joining me. Today we're talking about something that I think every rider struggles with at some point. The pressure to do what everyone else is doing. It is just so easy, isn't it, to get caught up in what's happening around us. Maybe it's pressure from the yard, seeing others jumping, seeing others go out competing, or going out hacking for miles. Or maybe it's when you sit at home and you look on social media and you see all the other amazing people on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you're looking, and there might be people at your local riding club doing amazing shows, and having loads of success, and it can all just kind of make us feel a little bit poo sometimes, can't it? Like we're not doing enough. I think sometimes it can make you feel like maybe your horse is kind of somehow being wasted, and if you're not out there kind of doing competitions, and all these things that you see other people doing. But really, a horse that is loved and cared for and happy is never wasted. You don't need to prove your worth or your horse's value by ticking someone else's box, and that's the important thing. If it's someone else's box, not your own. So today we're going to talk about how to create your own journey, and one that feels aligned with you and your horse and not what you think everyone else is doing. So first of all, we'll talk about the comparison trap, because I've been stuck in this a few times myself. So it's just so easy to fall into it, isn't it? Like we see others doing amazing things, like I said, on social media, maybe at the yard. I'm on a small yard, so it's kind of that effect kind of isn't there on mine, but on social media especially, for me. And you don't see the behind the scenes. You just see, especially if it is on social media, if it's someone on your yard, you might see a bit more of behind the scenes. But especially on social media, you don't see how long it took to get there, how much work it took to get to that point. You don't see the life that person has behind the scenes. Do they have a full-time job? Do they have really good spaces to exercise their horses? Do they have a lorry? Do they, it's different for everybody. And we don't see the setbacks, because everybody has setbacks, and it doesn't matter what level of riding you're at. Everyone has setbacks. So we only see the good bit, and it's really hard to then think, well, I can't do that. I can't get there, and that makes me feel rubbish. So I try to kind of notice when I'm looking at things like that, if I'm comparing myself and feeling a little bit negative about looking at things, then I will either step away from social media for a bit, or just go and look at some people's accounts that I know make me feel really happy and are kind of aligned with me and my own riding path. The next thing is kind of the myth of the wasted horse. When I was young, I competed a lot, because basically the yard we were on was like pony club 24/7. There were loads of children. The people that ran it put on these most incredible shows, and they also had a massive horse box, and we could all go out with them because they were taking their daughter out. We could all go out with them, and we'd be like going to all these different shows and things. So it was really easy for us. My parents will probably disagree saying it was easy, but it was fairly easy for us to kind of get swept up into the kind of show ring vibes. So we did do quite a bit of low level competing. I need to stress low level. And it was a lot of fun, and we really thoroughly enjoyed it. But my kids don't compete a lot. That's not something that we've only just got our trailer, and it's not something that we've done a lot of yet. And I'm not even sure if we will. My eldest, I know, isn't that worried. And my youngest may well get there. I don't know, but I'll do what they want to do, basically. But just because we're not necessarily out every weekend with Toby and competing in all these different disciplines, it doesn't mean that he's wasted. He's really well looked after. He's really well loved. What he absolutely loves and is born to do is hacking, and so we try to do that as much as we can. And I feel like as long as his needs are met, he's living his best life, really. So, he's lacking nothing by not going out kind of trying to win rosettes, really. Like I say, we've not really tried it. I think we've been to one showing show, and he was fabulous, and we had a really good time. But I'm not really sure that he would be absolutely that fussed about doing any of that anyway, but we'll soon see. So, like, horses don't measure their worth by kind of rosettes and trophies. They don't sit in the barn at night going, well, what have you won lately? They couldn't care less, and neither should we, really. So I think you need to kind of look at yourselves and redefine what success means for you and your horse. For a long time, success for us meant Toby cantering on the left canter lead when asked. That was just a tiny little thing, and now we can do that. That is a huge, huge win for us. So yeah, sometimes someone else's journey is just completely different to yours, and that's okay. I think for me, I don't really kind of get envious watching people competing anymore. But for me, a couple of times when I've seen people hacking alone, I've heard on other podcasts and other podcasts, and like kind of seen it on people's Instagram reels, talking about hacking their horses alone. Toby does not like hacking alone at all. And it's not something that I've worked on with him. And it's not something that I've worked on because it's not for me, really. And I don't want my children out hacking on their own. Absolutely not. And I've had horses in the past that will hack alone, and I've never done it. Never ever, because I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy I enjoy where we are. We've got a lovely track that we can ride around. Yeah, that's different, just me and him around the track. But I don't want to hack out for miles on my own. But still, when I see other people do it, then I think I should be able to do that. But why should I? Like, I feel like it's a tick box that I should be able to do it sometimes. And then I have to sit down and have a word with myself and say, even if you could, you wouldn't. So don't waste your time, woman. But yeah, so sometimes, even though it's not a competition type situation, you can still feel like you should be able to do certain things. But if they're not important to you, it's totally fine for you not to be able to do them. It's really not a problem. And I think, like, sometimes you can get caught up in chasing like someone else's version of success, and that can lead to like stress and disconnection, because really in your heart of hearts, that's not for you. So when I finally decided that, well, I'm not going to go out hacking, and I'm not going to spend all this time trying to kind of keep Toby calm and make him feel happy, because I don't want to make him feel unhappy and disconnected and frightened, that I just kind of, the joy came back, and I was like, no, I'm going to do it with friends. That's the way I want to do it. So if you're feeling lost or kind of unsure about what your journey should look like and what you do want to do, and you keep having these moments crop up where you feel like you're not doing enough, journaling can be a really powerful way to reconnect with yourself and your goals. I'll share with you some like journaling prompts, because sometimes when I sit down and I think I should write some stuff down about whatever I'm thinking about, whether it's work or horses or life, sometimes I sit there and look at the page and then my mind just goes blank and then I don't know what to write. So I will share some prompts, but I'll share them here, but I'll also write them in the show notes as well, so that you can take them and just write. If you can, like sometimes I just write a few prompts in the back of my journal, and then if I'm stuck, then I can just read through them and see which ones are relevant to me that day. But journaling's really good because it gives you something to look back on. So when you have those moments, when you feel those moments where you think, actually, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing what I should be doing, these people are doing more than me, you can look back and go, well, actually, that was never my goal. That was never my goal anyway. When I really sat down and spent time journaling, competing in dressage wasn't something that I wrote down when I was having that real heart-to-heart with myself. So it can help you kind of stay on track, really. So here are some prompts for you. So what does a happy, fulfilling partnership with my horse look like to me? What activities make me and my horse feel most connected and calm? When I imagine my ideal riding life in 3 years' time, what does it look like? What pressures or expectations am I ready to release? What does success mean to me, not anybody else? How do I want to feel after spending time with my horse? What small steps can I take this week to move closer to my version of joy and fulfillment? So just write freely. Don't judge yourself. Don't think about what you should be writing, what friends or family think you should be doing with your horse, what your coach or instructor thinks you should be doing. Just write whatever you like and revisit them often, because they can change. Like, just as you write this down, it doesn't mean that you can't ever change it. It doesn't mean in 3 years' time you have got to be doing what you wrote this week. It's just that it can just help you when you're having these moments where you're wobbling, thinking, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not doing enough. And then you can look down and go, no, actually, this is what I want to be doing, and this is what I'm going to focus on. So if you do that, if you journal on it, and then I know I'm always going on about tracking your rides, but if you also can journal about or track your the rides that you have been doing, you can also see the progress that you've made towards the goal, towards the kind of 3-year marker or the 1-year marker or the 6-month marker, whatever you decide to put in. Just because I said 3 years doesn't have to be 3 years. With my girls, sometimes we aim for something for the 6 weeks holidays in the summer. We're like, right, we want to have done this by then. So if you track it, then you will know how close you're getting to your goal, and also it will help you stay on track, and it will keep your goal front of mind rather than someone else's goal and someone else's journey that they're on. It will keep you on your journey, which is amazing. So I will also link my pre-ride routine and tracker in the show notes, because that's quite a handy prompt as well. And you don't even have to that's like a PDF download and you can print it out. But you don't even have to do that. You can just write it in your phone if you want to while you're at the yard. So it can just really help you stay aligned. Like the routine beforehand, the pre-ride routine, kind of helps you ground yourself before every ride, so you're not sort of pulled into comparison or pressure. And then the tracker will help you see your progress. So I think your journey's so personal. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. The one thing that matters is that you and your horse or horses are happy. So if all your horses' needs are met, they're happy, they're healthy, they're fulfilled, you don't have to be doing anything else. You can do exactly what you enjoy doing. So next time you feel the pressure creeping in, just take a breath and remind yourself that this is your journey and you get to choose what it looks like. Look, no one else. It's yours. So I always when I'm feeling stressed about something like that, I kind of do my deep breathing, as I'm always going on about breath work. And when I'm breathing, I kind of breathe in the problem and breathe out the solution. So in this instance, I'd inhale calm and exhale comparison, and inhale confidence and exhale the pressure, and then just remind myself that I'm enough and my horse is enough and our journey is our own and we can do whatever we want. It's our lives, we'll live it. But thank you so much for joining me for this quick episode of the Rise and Ride show. If this message sort of resonated with you, then don't forget to download the pre-ride routine and tracker and write those journal prompts that are in the show notes in the back of whatever book you use for journaling. And then it'll just help you stay grounded and focused and connected to what truly matters. And that is your unique journey with your horse. Remember, you don't need to do what everyone else is doing. You just need to do what feels right for you. Have a great week. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye.